G'day everyone, just a quick tip video on building light plates for guitar pedals. If you want to know more about how to build a light plate for a guitar pedal, I'll leave a link to my other video about that. Basically, just quickly, in case you don't know what a light plate for a guitar pedal is, it's basically a piece of material that goes between the back plate of your pedal and the top part, the face part of the pedal. Sandwiches between those two parts of the enclosure, and then when you turn your pedal on, you have an LEDs that are stuck into this material. The light comes out all the sides of the pedal and it looks quite fancy. In fact, if you look at my profile picture, you'll see a pedal with a light, using a light plate, my Zombie Mad Bean. It's a very eye-catching effect. But this quick tip video is going to be about the material to use. I used Plexiglass and it works fine, as you can see in the profile picture. It looks quite good, and that's pretty much. I've only done probably about 4 light plates, I think, in my time as building as a guitar pedal builder. I've only probably built about 4, but one of the biggest problems is with Plexiglass is that it's a real pain to use. If you drill a hole for the screw to go through for the enclosure on the corner with Plexiglass, it will snap off. It's very brittle. So what you have to do is you have to make a piece of Plexiglass that's much bigger than what you actually need, drill the 4 holes, and then sand all 4 sides down to the size of the enclosure. And you really have to leave like an extra centimetre of Plexiglass, so it makes it quite laboursome. Whereas this material that I've been looking at, called Lexan, seems like a better material for the job because it's not brittle. It's actually quite flexible. If you did that with Plexiglass, you'd probably end up with a piece of it stuck in your face, whereas this just seems to give. Apparently they use this stuff for bulletproof, obviously thicker than this, which is 3mm, a thicker piece of Lexan. They use it for bulletproof screens and things like that, because it's quite impact resistant. It's quite virtually unbreakable is what they say. So it's good for that. The fact that you can drill right to the edge and it won't break. So it's just going to make it so much easier. You can just leave a couple of mil around the outside and then just sand off the sides, and not have to take off so much material around the outside of the enclosure. So the other good thing, if you look at the pros and cons, probably a good idea to actually do this, to Google Lexan versus Plexiglass, because you'll see what the benefits of both are. The biggest drawback for me is what I was just saying for light plates is the brittleness of Plexiglass. It's ridiculous. It will just crack or smash without much encouragement. Whereas this piece, I actually just hacked off this piece with a hacksaw. You would you would destroy Plexiglass with a hacksaw. You have to score it with a knife. It's just a pain in the backside. Let's just agree to that point, that it's just a pain in the backside. The other good thing about Lexan is that apparently it can transmit light. It's better at transmitting light than Plexiglass is, because it kind of has, as you can see, it kind of has a bit of a frosted look to it, which is going to work really well for light plates, because with Plexiglass, because it's just so clear, you can see the hot spots from the LED are much more evident. As I'll show you, I've just got a green LED plugged into my LED tester, and I've just drilled out a 6mm little pit for where the LED lens will go. You're actually probably better off sanding off that lens because it's too focused. As you can see in the video, it's got a very, as you'd know, you've probably used these before, water clear LEDs just have a very bright beam. You want to actually at least diffuse it, which means get a piece of sandpaper and diffuse the end, and then super glue it in. I've found that you probably think, but once you put the super glue in, they fuse together and you're probably negating the point of actually diffusing that with sandpaper anyway. It's just a step that's not going to make any difference. But I've found that it makes a big difference, even though the super glue will fuse the two together. So this is not being diffused, it's water clear, as you can see. I haven't sanded it off, and I can tell already that it does have better light transmission, as you can see on the side there. It still has a hot spot. I haven't diffused it, as you can see, but I imagine that once you diffuse that LED, it's going to work much better than if it wasn't. As you just saw there. Seems pretty good though, so I'd say Lexan's probably a better material to use for light plates. Still haven't actually tried it, and I'm probably not going to get time because I've got so much stuff going on at the moment. But this stuff is probably the way to go if you're looking at doing a light plate. Maybe just skip plexiglass. I think it's a bit of a pain to use. So get yourself a piece of Lexan. Only downside with Lexan is that it's more expensive. It's almost twice the cost of plexiglass. So a piece like that will cost you probably, an A4 piece costs $10 shipped, whereas an A4 piece of plexiglass costs about $5 shipped. Obviously you're going to get a lot of pedals out of one board. But I would pay double just for the not having to deal with the inconvenience of, like I said before, having to sand off 2 centimeters of plexiglass around the outside of the enclosure, because that's just a lot of effort and a pain in the backside. So that's pretty much it for this video. As you may have heard in the background there, my lunch is ready, so I've got to get going. Yeah, I just thought I'd share that tip in case you're thinking about tackling a light plate. Give Lexan a go. I know the next light plate I'm going to be using Lexan, and I'm pretty sure it's going to work well, and I'm never going to touch plexiglass, not for this particular purpose anyway. It has its other uses, but I think for light plates, Lexan's the way to go. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.